Scandinavian Bob here, hi! Today we are going to talk about morning routines and what most people do wrong when they try to create a good morning routine. So many people ask, what is the best morning routine? And stop. You see, right there was the first mistake. There is no best morning routine that looks the same for everyone. The best morning routine for you is, well, there are 3 key points that I want you to remember when you create your routine. 1. Your morning routine should be something that sets you up for what you need to do during the day. You should look at your morning routine as a warm-up for your next 5 to 6 hours. And 2. The best morning routine for you is one that you will actually stick with. 3. Don't make it too complicated. Listen, it's really important that you do not make your morning routine too big and complicated, because then you will just do it for a couple of weeks and then you just stop. And so now that morning routine is completely worthless, because hey, if you don't do it, then obviously it is worthless. But even if you manage to muster up all your discipline and you keep it going, if it is too big and you every morning find yourself thinking thoughts like, oh no man, do I have to do this morning again? Well, then you have made it too big, and then it will actually take away from the important stuff you need to be doing for the rest of the day. Remember, your morning routine should be a warm-up for what you need to do later. I can't stress that enough, because if we are into self-improvement, in today's world there are so much we can do. Fancy exercises and all kinds of tools and tricks. So it's easy to fall into the trap of making it way too big. And I'm talking from experience here, so just trust me on this. Okay, and so now I'm going to share my personal morning routine with you to give you an example. But you shouldn't just copy my routine. You should really think through what things would work best for you and be the best warm-up for your day. So now the first thing I do when the alarm clock goes off is I go into my kitchen, where I sit down at the table and I just write a few short sentences in my journal. This takes just maybe 2 to 5 minutes, and I write down why it is important for me to do the things I want to do this day, and also who I want to be, my self-identity. Because if I have my values and my self-identity lined up with my goals, everything becomes much easier. And writing also helps me keep my brain on track in several ways. Now, I also journal in the evening, but I'm not going to talk about that here, as this is about what's the best morning routine. After the journaling, I do the Wim Hof breathing for about 10 to 12 minutes or so. This is because I really feel it makes my brain sharper for the next couple of hours. Step number 3. After the Wim Hof breathing, I take a natural supplement that I like that boosts my testosterone levels and dopamine levels. And if I combine this dopamine boosting supplement with my NoFap lifestyle, I really feel how it enhances the benefits almost to superpower levels. Now, I know that sounds naive and all, but man, if I combine it with all the other good things I do, the energy and confidence increase is insane, and it gives me this laser-like focus that I then use as I go to work on my goals. Obviously, it's the increased testosterone in combination with other things, but also because the supplement is designed to fine-tune your dopamine system. I'll talk more about this in the end of the video, but let's move on for now in order to not linger too long on this step. Then I go to my elliptical trainer and I do a short 7-minute cardio session. I start pretty slowly, and for each minute I speed up the tempo a bit, and the last minute I go pretty hard. Now, this is a short cardio session, but I do it every single morning no matter what. And those 7 minutes is enough to really increase the blood flow to my brain. And you know what? If I had to choose only one thing from this list, it would actually be this short cardio session. And that's it. This is my morning routine. 20 to 25 minutes is all it takes, and it sets me up in a great way for the coming 5 hours or so. I do not need any more steps to do in my morning routine. In fact, believe me, I have tried, and it will only backfire, as again, it has to be something we can keep doing day in and day out. And this routine really gives me the biggest bang for the buck. It works amazingly well for me. Now check this out. Notice how I didn't say anything at all about my smartphone. That's because I do not touch my smartphone at all or check my stats or email until I have done my morning routine. I do not believe it's a good idea to be checking your phone and start going on social media as the first thing you do when you wake up. It's a terrible bad habit, because did you know that right after waking up, scientists have found that your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. Now this is called the alpha stage, and when you are in a state like this, your brain is very suggestible to input. So then if the first thing you do right then is start bombarding it with notifications, negative news from around the world, gossip, looking at Facebook and all that other BS, well, let's just say that really sets you up in a bad way for the day. Don't do that. Now what if you did journaling instead and you just wrote down a few lines about your goals, for example? Don't you think that would be a better thing to do, as your brain is in that alpha state right then and all? Well, it sure would. And I also don't eat anything for about 2 to 3 hours later, as I like to do intermittent fasting. And for the most part, I do my cold showers later in the day, if anyone was wondering about those. Now, a short reminder here. Sometimes I do my morning routine a bit differently depending on what I have to do for the first hours of the day. For example, if I have to play a music gig and I will have to struggle with stress and anxiety, then I set my morning routine up differently in a way that makes me more calm. And if that's the case, my morning routine will include cold showers and meditation as well. Because again, the best morning routine is the one that sets you up in a good way for whatever you have to do for the first 5 hours of your day. Okay, and so if you are interested in learning more about the dopamine and testosterone supplement I was talking about, I have made a detailed review about it in another video where I also share my personal results from using it. And I think some of you may be quite shocked when you discover what they are. Now, under that video I also share a link where you can get it for the cheapest price if you would like to try it. Now, if you are worried about the dopamine increase down-regulating the receptors, I can tell you that no, it does not raise your dopamine to unnatural high levels like that. So it does absolutely not reduce your receptors. In fact, did you know that high levels of testosterone actually have been shown to promote the growth of new dopamine receptors? Yes, that's right. But enough about that here. You can see that video review on the screen right here. Just click on that and it'll take you there. Alright, this is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today, and as always I wish you all the best in your journey to become the strongest version of yourself. And remember, if you're going through hell, keep going.